Hi. So I made that video. I was struggling a lot on Thursday. My hair is crazy, but whatever. It is what it is. Um, I ended up Friday. I went to town, and I sat outside of Heaven's Peak, which is the health food store in Eureka, and they have Wi-Fi there. And so I was able to get online, and I ordered some clothes. So we'll see how it goes. I ordered from Old Navy. So we'll see how that goes. Just like basic sweatshirts and sweatpants because it's going to be getting cold here. Um, and, got groceries and food and everything. And I got a donation to my spot fund. So that was amazing. It really boosted up my faith because, as you guys know, on Thursday, I was just really sad. I didn't know what I was doing. I didn't know where I was going. And I also called. So I met a guy camping up here at Camp 32. Well, I didn't meet him. I met his dog because he has a really nice German Shepherd. And so I really like the dog. Not the guy's nothing wrong with the guy, anything. Anyway, I ended up calling him and I told him that I was back at Camp 32, and he said that he was gone, and I was like, "You're gone?" And he said, "Yeah." And I said, "Then I'm going to go to your spot." And so I was super excited to get this spot, so I'm going to show you around because this is a really great spot. This is free, it's like BLM land in the Kootenai Forest, and so I'm really excited to get it. So it's right by the river. I put my clothes down there, so I just took water from the river and put it in that 5-gallon bucket with just a little bit of Dr. Bronner's because it's ecologically whatever, it breaks down, and a little bit of baking soda. I'm not going to dump it in the river. I'm going to dump the soapy water on the grass, but I don't want to mess up the ecosystem or whatever. But it's just nice because I don't have to drive. Actually, though, to the place where I normally get water and go swimming and stuff, it's only about 12 miles from here. So that's not too bad of a drive to do that stuff. So I went there on Friday after I went to town and swam and filled up my water jugs. And that's my bathroom. And then over by the tree, that's my shower. Because I haven't been able to get a privacy tent. There's one that I can tolerate. It's called Wolfwise, and I've ordered 2 of them, and both times they came from Kentucky, and I don't know what sort of toxin they were covered in, but whatever it was awful, and it contaminated me. It contaminated a lot of my clothes, contaminated my seat in my van, which I still haven't dealt with yet. But anyway, so today's Saturday, and I did go, obviously yesterday was Friday. I went to town. I went to swimming. And another thing, when I went to town, my sleeping bag came that I ordered from Teton. So Teton, so it's over there. That's where I have 2 clotheslines set up because I have to off gas everything. Oh, and then over there on the ground, you see that garbage bag? That's other stuff that's off gassing over there. I smelled the Teton sleeping bags are not treated with flame retardants. And I smelled it when I first got it out of the package, and it smelled okay, but it still has to off gas for a couple days, maybe longer, before I dare sleep in it. And that other thing that you see hanging is a map that I got of the Kootenai Forest at the USDA, at the ranger station, and I got it, and it stunk to high heaven because of the dyes in the in the map. So I'm hanging that there, trying to off-gas it. And then over there, off-gassing is also some sneakers that I still haven't been able to wear. I've had them for a while. And I just take them out and off-gas them when I'm stationary like this. And then when I have to move, I have to put them in like 2 or 3 garbage bags, and just to get the smell contained so that I can drive them in the van with me. But I was able to just stay here all day today, and that right there it's amazing. It's just a huge rest. Multiple chemical sensitivity for me came on before I even knew about the mold. I got it from taking antibiotics, a strong antibiotic, a fluoroquinolin it's called, too many times. And, you know, I take responsibility for that because I didn't research. I didn't know the side effects. I didn't know, I had diverticulitis and I was in pain and I just went to the hospital. And so at one of those times, man, it just tipped me over the edge. And the next day I was trying to, I washed my hands in the bathroom with scented soap and I was like, ugh, and I got really sick. And so I had to get rid of overnight. I had to get rid of everything in my house that had a scent. That meant all my cleaning products, all my personal care products. I had to get rid of all of them. And the only thing I could use was, I was able to get Dr. Bronner's Castile soap, the unscented, the baby one. It's in like a blue bottle. And I used that for everything until I discovered some other products that I could use. And then I used coconut oil. That was all I could use. So, it's important for me. I know that there are there's different schools of thought on this, but for me, I have decided that I'm going to avoid mold and chemicals because how I think about it now is that God didn't create chemicals. There were no chemicals in the Garden of Eden, and so chemicals are something that human beings created and our bodies don't know what to do with them. So they tax our liver, they tax our kidneys. They just don't belong in the human body. And the world's polluted with tons of chemicals. Even when I'm doing my best to avoid chemicals, I'm still getting exposed to chemicals just by driving through a town where everyone's using dryer sheets. Like, if I could do one thing, and that would be to eliminate dryer sheets, life would be a lot more livable for me. I mean, this is why people say, well, oh, I know of an apartment for rent. No, I can't live in an apartment, I can't live in a town because if 2 or 3 people are doing laundry with dryer sheets at the same time, that's literally enough to kill me. Like, kill me. So when I was in town on Friday, sitting in front of Heaven's Peak, there's a laundromat, I'm going to say a quarter of a mile away. And when I first got there, I felt okay. Well, the wind must have changed direction, and all of a sudden, wham, I could smell it. And I know the first thing that happens is my lips start to swell up and tingle, and then my tongue will start to swell up. And if I don't get away, my throat will close up. And so I had to get away, and I did, So avoiding mold has been a lot easier since being in Montana, because it's very dry here, and I rarely go in any buildings. There's 2 or 3 places that I go into and I don't stay long anyway. There was one store that I went into where as soon as I walked in, I was like, ugh, moldy, and I turned right around and left. But like I'm saying, mold is a little easier to avoid out here than it was even in West Virginia. But chemicals are still pretty rough. I think that we talk about it as a power curve. I was pretty low on the power curve. And if I would have known it, if I would have been cognizant of it, I probably wouldn't have gone to that Bible study. But I think I had been living in the forest for a while and I was feeling so good. And I had been to that church a couple times and I had done really well. So maybe I got lulled into the, feeling that I was doing better and I could handle this and I could do something normal again. But apparently that's not true. So I'm going to try to stay out here. I'm staying Saturday, I'm staying Sunday, and I'll probably have to go into town by Monday. But even 2 days of just being in the forest here with, no people and not much chemical interaction, it'll help me. I mean, I'm still sick from it. I can still taste chemicals on my tongue. I still feel like swollen up in my lymph node area. I think my eyes are still swollen. So I'm not out of the woods yet, I'm in the woods, but do you know what I mean? Like the chemical exposure isn't completely, I'm not back to what I was before But like I said, I think I had been exposed to flame retardants in the forest and then the laundry chemicals. And then also, I have to go to there's a grocery store here that I have to go to. It's a normal grocery store because the health food store doesn't have everything that I need. Every time I go in there, I wear a mask. But still, I'm getting an exposure. And even at the place where I go swimming, I can't use the restroom there because they clean with lemon pine sol. And sometimes if I happen to be walking by the door and somebody opens the door, I get a little bit of an exposure. Or if I'm parked next to a car and people open the door and, and someone's wearing cologne or something, even if I'm 2 spaces over, I mean, it's just, it accumulates and accumulates and accumulates, and then I'm sick, So what I really need is either a better van, like a bigger van, or the way I like to camp in these backcountry places where, sometimes the roads are iffy in a van that's low to the ground. They were good in the Subaru. I could do really good with them. So I'm going to need a van that's like up a little bit from the ground, or maybe a truck, or I don't know. I've looked at different types of RVs. I mean, and some of my friends say to me, how long are you going to have to do this? The answer is, I don't know. I have a friend who has been doing it for 3 years, and she thinks that she could possibly be able to live inside again. But after doing this for 3 years and not being able to work and being sick and everything, it depletes you financially pretty much, So, I mean, part of my goal is to get a more stable van or RV. I'm not sure what I'm going to do yet for that, and to get a laptop and get another job where I can work from a computer, And I have resigned myself to the fact that I'm not going to be able to get my connection in person. I'm going to have to, I went to a 12-step meeting on Zoom, and that helped me yesterday just to connect with people on there. And that's how I'm going to have to get my connection for a while. And you know what? I'm grateful for it. I'm grateful for that. I really am, because I can connect with people over Zoom and see them, and they can see me. And then I called one of my friends yesterday, connected with her, and that was good. So, it's all right, one day at a time. And like I say, I'm grateful. Yeah, it stinks. Yeah, I mean, there are my friends who are out there living normal lives, working jobs, going on vacation, living in normal houses, going to restaurants, going to the mall. I look on Facebook sometimes and I see everyone living their lives, and it makes me sad because I can't have that kind of a life, but I'm also grateful because I also have friends who are not alive anymore, who, who knows whether they died, they died of different things. And I believe that I'm preventing cancer by, trying to get my body to detox. My mother died at 49. So, every year is a bonus. Every day is a bonus for me. And I just, I thank God every morning. The first thing I say when I first wake up is, this is the day that the Lord has made. I will rejoice and be glad in it. I have this little bookmark called Just for Today. I think it's from Al-Anon or something. But there's this little part of it that talks about Abraham Lincoln said, most folks are as happy as they make up their mind to be. And there are days when I just can't control it. I'm sad, like after an exposure, or, if I'm grieving something, because I've had a lot to grieve, but, most days I'm like, okay, I'll allow myself maybe 10 minutes or whatever to be sad or cry or whatever. And then I'm like, okay, I got to go about my business of living, of trying to heal, And for me, what that looks like, the picture is, I got to get all this toxic stuff out of my mouth, which I don't even know how much that's going to cost. I know the one root canal that I had removed was $1,100, and I have one up here that has another one that has to be removed. And then I have more root canals and more fillings, and I definitely know that that's a priority for me because, how can I detox if I still have toxins in my mouth? So, yeah, so that's where I'm at today, and I feel pretty happy about this spot here, and in Camp 32, by the river, and it's beautiful, and it's serene, and there's no people, and my biggest thing is I'm listening, constantly listening. I don't actually know what bears sound like. Like, do they make a lot of noise when they're coming? I don't really know, but I'm always listening for sticks cracking. I don't know. And, I like Montana. I really do like Montana. I wish there was some way I could find a way to, be warm enough to stay here, as long as possible, I guess. And then I'm going to have to probably go to, I don't know, Arizona, somewhere where I can live outdoors. Oh, my house. Okay. So the lady who is buying my house is backing out. And so she's going to have to pay some money to us to break the contract, and then it's going to go back on the market. So please pray that it sells quickly and that somebody buys it cash, because if they do that, then I'll have the money a lot quicker than this has been torture. I mean, basically it sold. I was only out of there a couple days and it sold. And, yeah, so all this time waiting and waiting for the money, and it's not coming. But another good thing that I found out was that the house with the apartment, that it might not be sold. So if it isn't sold, I told them to keep me in mind and keep in touch with me. So I can't tell you guys how grateful I am that you're watching, that you're sharing these videos. I noticed someone shared, 2 of my videos on their Facebook, and I'm grateful because this is what it's about, raising awareness. If everyone in the United States stopped buying dryer sheets, guess what? They'd stop making dryer sheets, and that part of the pollution would go down. I mean, it's completely possible. You can use those dryer balls. You can, you can use vinegar in your rinse. You don't have to coat your clothing in petroleum and fragrance, which is really what you're doing when you're using fabric softener or dryer sheets, and just that alone. I mean, I swear, when I die, write on my tombstone, make dryer sheets illegal. Like, seriously, make dryer sheets illegal, because they're so toxic, because they're petroleum based, so they fly through the air for miles and miles and miles and pollute the air, and I don't know, make people sick, really. Even people who don't know that they're making them sick, they're making them sick, So if you use dryer sheets, please stop. Anyways, thank you so much for watching. God bless you all.